Hi, Mark here. We're going to do a little bit on shipping, and what I've done was sold a pair of my scuba fins, which are very dusty. So I'm going to dust them off real quick. Before we ship them, we'll get them dusted down real quick. Don't want to breathe all that dust. 1, 2. I got Jimi Hendrix playing a song he played in 1970, I think it's Fillmore, called Machine Gun. So I was wondering where I was going to get a box anyway for this shipping, but I collect boxes now and then for my eBay stuff. And I had this one sitting in the garage. Doesn't have a top on it or anything here, but nevertheless, it just works out. You know, the things I do just work out. So I'm going to show you how I would pack these things here. Fit them both together nice and tight. And you can see they're in there kind of really nice. And we're now going to cut the inside of the box a little bit to make the box smaller and fit properly. So next thing we do is we take our razor knife, which I have out here, and we're going to get to where the top of the fin is. The top of the fin about right where my finger is. And we're just going to put the knife in there like so and slice up that corner. And then what we want to do is slice all the corners in the same area. So that's 2. There's another one. And one more. So once we have all those corners cut, basically all we're going to do is fold in our flaps there. Folding in our flaps a little bit. Make sure you might need to do a little more cutting sometimes. Okay. And then here we're going to fold down our top flap, making our box. Same thing on the other side. And we are actually going to there's a lot of space in there, so we're going to make it a little tighter here by cutting the bottom corner. I got a 12-minute song. Now we're going to definitely cut this corner here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Kind of back to an open box thing now. So now I am going to do that there. I'm going to hold that in there. Okay. Let's bring this up here. Bring that in there. That's going to go there. Okay. temporary little patch there for a minute. Okay, so we've got our pins in there like that. We're going to that in there, that in there. That there, there, there. Okay. Temporary box there. Okay. We can now take this piece here, and we are going to got to take this piece here, trim it to slide in both of these slots I left. Okay, we trimmed off a small piece. I'm going to slide that in there. Okay, now that we've got that slid in there like so, we're just going to go ahead and wrap it over like so. Then I'm going to actually now take my strapping tape. It's got filament. It's got a filament in it. And as I'm putting it on, I'm pushing it down with my thumb, because in a second I'm going to put a lot of pressure on it to make sure it stays snug. And we're going to cut it right here. I don't really need to waste all the tape. I'm going to start getting the strapping tape on here real quick before Jimi Hendrix ends. Again, we're going to push it down with our thumb. Snug it up. You don't have to go all the way around. You can if you're rich. I'm not, so I use what I need. Again, we're going to snug this corner down here now. Continue it around, and when I come around, I'm going to layer it kind of over this little seam that I had right there, and I got a seam on the back. Just going to start getting some tape on some of them spots, and then cut it here again. Okay. One more trip around this right there. Okay. Throw one over here. I like to put the tape back on top of itself. I overlap that over the existing piece. That way it seems to stay a lot better. Over here, we're going to start the tape over here. I'm going to push it down with our finger because the boxes are dirty, dusty, and I don't want the tape to slip off. Again, I got an open seam right here, so I'm going to try to get the tape a little bit over that seam, and I'm going to stop it back here on itself so we have a good adhesion and that the tape won't come off later. I want to get a couple on my open tab here, which I'm actually going to fold in, make it look nice. Some filament. I got an open seam here, that long one. Just going to get some on there for a minute. Okay, and I'm going to stop this on itself on the back, nothing more. You want to remember to take these labels off for shipping if it's a box you found, because that might screw them up in the shipping. I'm going to start the tape on my tape. back to my tape. One more time. See what happens if you don't push it down with your thumb, it'll pull off. That's why I was saying, as you apply the tape, to push it on with your finger and then pull it over. If you're going to pull it tight, and this one we're going to run down to the lower level onto itself. I want to put have a little piece of cardboard there we're going to take off. Now we have these open seams here still. We have an open seam right here on the back. And these tape joints I want to go over. So what I do with that is we would take our clear packing tape, which we get at the dollar store, and just start. I always like to go over any of my filament tape and make sure I secure my filament tape in there properly. Of course, I didn't see this, but I do want to put a piece of filament tape on here. Actually, I put two. I'm going all the way around because we got another open end. Of course, back onto our tape again. One more. Close that open hole right there. Gonna run this down on our open seam, which I'm going to end up covering anyway with the clear packing tape in a moment. Okay, so just to show you another piece on here real quick. Okay. So you can see I'm going over my seams. These open edges I still have here. Those open edges are getting taped up kind of now. Okay. Had some filament tape on the corners here. So you got the basic idea. I have a big open seam right here. Well, Jimi Hendrix is over. That must have been 12 minutes. I'm hurrying up. Okay, so basically that's how you do your box. From that big old box to the little box. Thanks for watching. And there's a lot of action in the sky I'm going to show you. There it is. There's a plane up there leaving the clouds. And when those planes leave those clouds up there, they get really wide like these over here and turn into those fat white stripes.